Hey, this is a mortgage old gangsta, the best mortgage Salt Lake. Just want to quickly share a snippet from our first-time home buyer seminar. This is a point that is very, very poignant. The question is that possibly true? This is a clip from the article that he had posted on entrepreneur.com. Grant Cardone, if you're in sales, this guy is a master. But he said this: buying a home is for suckers. A home isn't an investment because it doesn't pay you every month. His verbiage starts: should you own a home, unless you have 20 million bucks in the bank in cash, you have no business buying a home. And I don't think that's true. Grant says that a home is not an investment, and I think he's trying to say it's not a cash flow investment because it doesn't pay you month to month to month. And it does have an expense component. But tell me, rent doesn't have an expense component. And so let's look at his background. His real end goal for his life is to own 20,000 rental doors. He buys big apartment complexes. I don't know currently how much he owns, but he is in acquiring mode. And he's hoping that people will rent. He wants you to rent from him. And so he has kind of a different way of looking at things. But renting isn't an investment any more than a mortgage payment is. You have to pay something to somebody to live somewhere. And so let's look at how you can, if you're renting, how you can convert that stream of payments, that expense that's going out, into a pretty solid, big time investment that is very, very safe. And I don't think you'll find anything that'll even touch this as far as rate of return and as far as stability. But let's take a look at it and you can decide for yourself. But man, for millennials, this is big time. So let's talk a bit about investment and leverage. Leverage is a concept that allows you to control, and this is going to be a short video. Leverage is something that allows you to control an asset with just a little bit of your money and a lot of somebody else's money. And a mortgage is a prime example of this concept. And let me illustrate it this way. Let's say that you purchased a home, and we're just going to use round numbers. I don't think you'll find a house, very many houses around here, where you can buy it for $100,000. But again, for the sake of round numbers, let's assume that you buy it for $100,000. And let's say that you used FHA loan financing. It's one of the great low money down programs. 3.5% is what you need to bring in. And by the way, all of that can even be a gift. But let's minimize rates of return. And let's say that this was your money. You could come up with $3,500. Now we're going to ask the seller to pay all the other costs that are involved with your property. We're going to negotiate into your contract. So they're going to buy the title insurance and pay for your appraisal, all those things. Let's say that you held that home for 3 years and then sold it. And someone hands you a stack of money like we've got here pictured. So I am using a 6% annual appreciation amount, which is very, very conservative. And I think if we look back over the real estate long haul, we can conservatively show a 6% return. Some years it's much higher, and some years it's lower. But let's just go with the 6. So if you held it for 3 years and sold it at 6% annual return, your sales price would be $120,000. Now, again, today you'll have much higher than that, but let's just go with that. So 20,000 profit that's left in your bank after you pay off your $100,000 FHA mortgage, and that'll pay down just a little bit, but again, round numbers. Let's take out of your profit the $3,500 seed money that you put in to own and control that investment. And then let's look at what remains in your account of $16,500. Now, again, this is a primary residence. You don't have to pay capital gains on that. And so that is your money. So tell me where you can go find this kind of rate of return in any kind of investment that you can find today that has any sort of safety at all. And I don't think you can find that rate of return at all, period. But with the safety of something that you live in and is not going to go away, it's a tangible asset. But that rate of return, if you calculate it out, is 4.71 times your money. So almost 5 times your money. How do you do that in 3 years? Anywhere? And as I punch that out annually, that's 157% return. You just can't find it. And of course, there's again no capital gains like I already mentioned. And this is just harnessing ownership versus renting or loanership. And the nice thing is, too, we didn't even talk about what happens to the mortgage interest that you get to write off on your taxes. Suddenly now, instead of taking a standard deduction, you get to take an itemized deduction and write off all of that mortgage interest. And believe me, probably 95% of your payment is going to interest. So you've got a huge tax deduction, and we could flow through. And for the sake of time, we're not going to talk about how that all gets to your bottom line. But I just want to say that I disagree with Grant vehemently here. And it's not only awesome to live in a home and to have roots and all those things, but let's just look at the financial numbers because they are high and they are strong. Well, this has been the Mortgage OG of Best Mortgage Salt Lake. If you'd like to chat with us a little bit more about any questions that you have, you can reach us at 801 528 1003. We'll put you in touch with an expert, and let's help you get going. Thanks much.